Talk about it with Franjez. Today's special guest is the owner of Westchester Taco Grill. Today's guest is Jeury Gonzalez.
Hey, how is everybody?
Thank you for coming through, man. How you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I feel great, man. How's everything with you? Good?
Besides this voice, but the show must go on. I had a sore throat a couple days ago, so I'm left with this raspiness, but it's not about me and my voice. It's about the guest. So we could definitely start off from the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born here in New York, actually.
What part?
Manhattan, Presbyterian.
You were living there, too?
No, grew up in the Bronx.
Okay.
I think the first apartment we lived in was on the concourse on Sheridan, but I was like super young. I barely even like remember it. Probably like until like kindergarten or first grade or something like that. But ultimately, we ended up moving to Soundview around like first grade, second grade, around there.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about your childhood. How were you growing up? What type of kid were you? What were you into?
I was a quiet kid, man. Like super shy. I think that even like kind of like shows until like now. I'm kind of like timid,
All right.
but you know we're working on that. We're trying to change it.
Who's we?
Me personally,
Me, myself, and I like that.
definitely. But yeah, I was a good kid. Never really got in trouble. You know, did what I was supposed to. Play some baseball growing up. You know, high school maybe I fell off the tracks a little bit, but you know I think everybody does. You know, you're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to, you know, like have fun, and you get to meet new people and stuff. So, but other than that, man, pretty chill home. My dad's a cab driver. My mom worked maintenance. And it was just us five, my brother and my sister. And
Nice.
growing up was kind of like nothing crazy. My dad put us through Catholic school though, which I'm like extremely grateful for.
The whole time, kindergarten through high school?
Not elementary school. So from middle school on, from 6 on to 12.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that I think you know, shaped me to be the person who I am today. And I'm extremely like grateful because it's not easy to put 3 kids through Catholic school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, that definitely shaped me for the better.
Good. Good. What else were you into? Any so sports? You were into baseball. You watched it and played it.
Kind of watched it. My dad would try to like force me to watch it. Yeah, you ever sit through a baseball game? It's kind of boring. And
I don't watch any sports. So sometimes I get invited by friends to watch a game in person. It's entertaining, you know, like being there for the moment and watching the game. I could enjoy one game.
A live game, yeah, you're drinking, you're having fun,
Yeah.
but watching it at home, like force yourself to sit through a baseball game. It's like watching paint dry, bro. And I love baseball. Don't get me wrong. I love to play it. I love to play catch. You know, like I had a great time playing throughout like high school and middle school and stuff. But to sit there and watch a game at home is torture, bro.
Nice. So, what was the food cooked in the house, and what was the music played in the house when you were a kid?
So I'm Dominican. A lot of rice, beans, a lot of chicken. You know, funny enough. So until like I was like, I want to say like 19, 18, I thought lasagna was Dominican. Yo, I swear to God, Dominicans make like a lasagna. It's not like the same as Italians, but all my life I thought it was a Dominican dish. Until I was like 20, 19. And
Did they cook it with rice on the side?
oh yeah, definitely. And then we used to use like ricotta cheese, the ragu sauce.
It was all the traditional lasagna, but I think the difference is they season the beef Dominican style. I
Oh,
think that's the difference.
yeah. I don't know, but that shit's good.
It's amazing. It literally is amazing.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference, though. It's just the seasoning. They use all the other traditional ingredients.
yeah. I mean,
But it's
to
the seasoning.
this day, it's probably one of my favorite dishes. To be honest with you,
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Who made it, mom or dad?
mom. Yeah.
Nice.
Dad, he's the one that played the music around the house. Like he's like real old school. Like he's from the countryside of DR.
What part?
Lombra de Cabrera.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that I think it's like borderline Haiti. Like it's not too far. It's on the eastern part. Sorry, the western
side,
part.
west
yeah.
side, yeah. What about mom? What part is she from?
I have no idea actually.
No way.
Yeah. But I think they call them like campos. I think it's like farmland.
Yeah.
It's not too far from each other.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they met out there. Yeah. You know what I did recently read? Their love letters.
No way.
Yeah, from like 1980.
Wow.
Yeah, my cousin showed it to me because my mom came out here in 99 and my mom was out here like 97. And my dad was still in DR. He ended up coming in 98. So actually no. My mom's been here since before 93 because my brother was born 93 and was born here. So conceived in the
Nice.
Born in New York.
Nice.
But they used to write each other letters and it was like, yo, to be honest, the most romantic shit ever. I used to be like, yo, like I was reading and I was like, this guy's a simp. But it was just nice to like kind of like see what the moment was and like kind of like be there in a sense.
Absolutely.
Because after a while, after you're married for a long time, the affection, not that the love fades, but
the spark.
Yeah, the display of affection kind of fades away.
Yeah.
So like growing up, I'm like, damn, do they even love each other? Like, so it was nice to get to read that and kind of like see what the moment was during that time.
Yeah. How'd you get a hold of those letters?
My cousin just came from DR like a year ago, so he's living with my dad, and then they were like moving some boxes around, and like they came across it, so like he sent me like the pictures of it and stuff. It was super hard to read because my dad writes like cursive, and it's in Spanish. I can't really read Spanish like that, so I'm over here struggling, but it was worth the struggle.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's history right there.
Yeah.
So, did you have any interest in food and cooking when you were a kid?
So funny enough, the way that I kind of like fell into food, my mom passed away when I was 12.
Sorry for that.
No, sorry. I mean,
That's a young age. It's really impactful.
yeah, no, definitely. But I think that's kind of like it's part of the story. It's part of the shaping. So a lot of meals like I kind of like made myself. Dad's working, big bro's at school, or doing whatever he's doing, and just start off with like hot dogs, like boiling hot dogs. The ones with the cheese inside.
Oh, Oscar Mayer with the cheese in the middle.
Yes.
It's not the same now, but that was good.
I haven't had it in years.
I haven't either. I just assume everything's lower quality now. I feel,
100%.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Did you guys freeze your hot dogs?
Hell yeah.
You know that's a Dominican thing, right?
I didn't know that, actually. I just thought that was like a normal...
You go to anybody else's household, it's in the fridge because it's already cooked. You know what I mean? Hot dogs already cooked.
Yeah.
You just have to heat it up. But I didn't know that until I grew up and I moved out the house. I'm Dominican too. I don't know if you know.
I didn't know that.
It's the same situation. It's like when I try to break hot dogs apart, how'd you do it? Like with a knife, right?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not the way you're supposed to do it. I learned that afterwards.
I used to just toss the 5-pack right in there.
The whole 5 in there. I like that.
Lie to you.
But yeah, it's in the supermarket. It's refrigerated. It's not frozen. But Dominicans have this.
Yeah.
Dominicans have this mentality of like it's gonna go bad. It's gonna spoil. Like all this, like like fear of the food going bad, so a lot gets frozen. Peanut butter in the refrigerator.
But I still do that.
It's wrong, bro.
That's
Ketchup in the
hilarious.
refrigerator.
Well, I don't eat ketchup.
All
But
right.
I think in my house it is in the refrigerator.
Yo, Dominicans are worried about spoiling heavy.
That is hilarious. But then after like hot dogs turned into like pancakes, then my brother was joining a fraternity. He was at a Pace, and his like line brothers used to like sleep over and stuff. Yo, I used to wake up early because I just wanted to impress him with my pancakes. I thought my shit was a shit. Yo, I used to put syrup in the batter.
Oh,
I used to put the syrup in the batter.
that works good.
Yeah, fire.
Like a McGriddle type thing.
Exactly. Yo, so I was ahead of the game.
You were.
Yeah, this was back in the day.
Damn.
And they used to wake up and like eat it, and like just them telling me, yo, this is good. Yo, brought me so much satisfaction. Like,
Nice.
damn, like, yo, I did that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, and then like that kind of turned into I started getting into like steaks and like making mashed potatoes. I used to eat a lot of oatmeal growing up. So like I started off with like easy shit, and then one thing that me and my dad like used to make all the time was morir soñando.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we used to make it differently. I don't know,
Oh.
because there's like, I feel like there's two different types of Dominicans, right? There's the Dominicans that drink morir soñando with orange juice, and then there's the ones that drink it with lime juice.
I never heard of lime juice.
Bro, fire.
That's how you grew up having it?
Yeah, grew up having it with
Wow.
lime juice, yeah.
That's a lot of lime juice. You guys were squeezing the limes?
Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
My father would take just a carton of juice. It's simple, it's ready squeezed.
Yeah.
But wow, I gotta try that.
Yeah, it's really good actually. I want to say like to make a 16-ounce cup, you do like 8-ounce carnation milks, maybe like 6-ounce water, 2-ounce lime juice, and like sweeten as you go.
Oh, he did it with milk, sugar, juice, and ice.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
drink it with milk.
Milk, not carnation.
The
Real milk.
like whole milk.
Whole milk, sugar. So that's the carnation. Is the milk and the sugar.
Yeah.
So he'll just do it separately. Whole milk, sugar, orange juice, and ice.
We never
Straight
drink it with whole milk. Always evaporated carnation
It
milk.
makes sense because it's already sweetened. So you
Yeah.
skip the 2 steps of
Well, they
combining those.
used to put more sugar in it.
Oh my god! You got to cut the sourness from the lime, though. It makes sense.
Yeah, but
Makes
that's why it
sense.
was so good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I really enjoyed making that. And then my dad used to have these barbecues.
Really?
Yo, and it would be lit because it'd be like a school day or something. It'd be like a Wednesday, right? But he'll start grilling like at 7. All his friends from the neighborhood, they would just like stop by,
Oh,
like,
that's nice.
and it'd be like a big like they playing dominoes in the back, we're
Nice.
grilling. Like he would let me season with him sometimes, flip some of the meats and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, so those that like when we had the first one, I'd be like, damn, summer's here.
Yeah, hell
Summer's
yeah.
here, but or summer's coming.
Yeah.
But it was amazing because he was like we had a really strict bedtime, but if like people were over, we could like stay up a little bit later.
Nice.
And I'm talking about like we had to be in bed by 8:30.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
8:30 bedtime, bro. No ifs, ands, or buts.
How you feel about that now? It's extreme, right? It's a little too early.
For my life personally, yeah, definitely. But I
Yeah.
think that's definitely something I'm gonna implement with my kids.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I don't know, like it's like it just shows some structure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
structure's good. But 8 hours of sleep is good.
Yeah.
You go to sleep at 8:30 when they're waking up at 6. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sleep.
Yeah, definitely.
But sleep is good. Sleep is very important for us. So what music did he play? I'm assuming merengue and bachata.
Yeah. Like Yoska Santara. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, actually.
Sounded perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it sounded perfect.
Like Frank Reyes.
Nice.
Like old school bachata. Definitely like the lover boy shit.
Yeah.
Kind of reflected in those letters.
Certain music.
Yeah.
That's what bachata is. Just straight love and heartbreak.
Yeah.
Straight up. I didn't get to it, I guess.
Yo, and it doesn't get old, bro.
The oldest ones, the ones from the 90s, are still rocking.
Oh my gosh, bro!
Those are the best ones.
Yeah,
so.
I could still bump it. Bro.
Yeah.
But
it's like 90s rap.
Yeah. Yo, the new rap stuff. I feel like I get tired of it in a week.
100%. And you can still play the old stuff, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, they play it at all the parties still.
Yeah, 100%. Classic. You can't stop the classic.
Definitely.
So what comes next? Did you go to college?
Yeah, I actually went to Fordham for 2 years, but I ended up dropping out.
What did you originally go for?
Economics.
Okay.
Yeah, but I kind of just like picked whatever. I think at the time I might have like got onto Google and like typed in, like majors with the highest paying jobs after graduation. Like so, and then from that, like I think comp sci at that time was like super high, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to deal with computers. Then I saw econ, and I'm like, I'm kind of good at math, so like, fuck it, let's go econ.
Nice.
But ultimately, I didn't decide that until maybe my sophomore year. That first year, that freshman year, I was undecided. But I was delivering up here at a pizzeria on North Avenue, like before Westchester Taco Grill. And then ultimately, started there was like a restaurant group, Gemelli's Pizzeria, Posto 22, Westchester Taco Grill was all under one restaurant group. And I was delivering for them, I believe, since high school. I think my junior year of high school.
So all of them, you deliver for all of them together, like different days and stuff like that?
Yeah. Ultimately, I started off at Gemelli's. Then one of their head delivery drivers at Posto, I think they broke their leg, so I ended up going to Posto, and like that's kind of like where the owners were. That was like the busier one. So I ended up getting like closer to the owners and stuff, and playing a bigger role. And then ultimately ended up going to Westchester Taco Grill. Started off serving there, and then ended up managing. One of the owners from there wanted out, and I got the opportunity to buy in.
Talk about that decision, though. You're going from delivering to about to become an owner. Like, what was that mindset?
Well,
like?
it was delivery, server, managing, and then about to become an owner.
Take us through those steps. Like, how long it took to escalate up those steps?
So I started when I was like 17, 16.
Oh, so before college you were...
I was delivering there since high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so as soon as I got my license, my dad got me a '09 Honda Civic.
Nice. Two-door, four-door?
Four-door.
Four-door is better. I like four-door.
Yeah. Had the baby blue, but, blackout tints.
Nice.
Had the hookah in the trunk.
In the trunk. I like that.
But no, the decision was tough, actually. A lot of back and forth with my dad. A lot of back and forth with my brother. Because, it was like, I don't know, how Dominicans are always like, yo, you got to finish school, you got to finish school, you got to finish
Absolutely.
school. So that was a big thing for him. My dad was trying to say, like, oh, like, why can't you do that and finish school? But at that point, I'm working like 60 hours, and then like to go to school full time, it's like, and kind of like the interest dies away too. Like me personally, I'm very interest driven. If I'm not interested in something, I don't think I could work as hard towards it.
Do you know what job you wanted when you went to college?
So, before college, I actually wanted to go to Johnson, and like when I was a senior in high school, I wanted to go to Providence, Rhode Island, and go to Johnson and Wales, and pursue a career in culinary arts.
Really?
Yeah, but what ended up happening is my brother, Bless you. My brother, he sat me down, right, and we looked at the average salary of a chef after culinary school, and ultimately asked me like, what kind of life did I want to live?
What was it?
I think at the time it might have been like 45, 50.
And that's just working at a restaurant, not owning it.
Yeah,
working at a restaurant as a chef.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to do originally. So, you know, he asked me what kind of car I wanted to drive. He asked me, you know, where I wanted to live. You know, like if I wanted spending money for weekends and stuff, and we kind of like put that into like a paper and just kind of like did some calculations. So after taxes and all this and that, and then ultimately I'm like, hold up.
What kind of car am I gonna have with 30,000?
Yeah, but I ride a bike to work. Well, there's nothing wrong with it.
100%.
Don't get me wrong.
But if you're going to college for a career, you want to live very comfortable.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. So Johnson and Wales got scratched.
Just from that conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
I had this conversation with my daughter recently. She's graduating high school in a couple weeks.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And she mentioned she wants a Rolls Royce. Like that's her dream car. I said, really? Okay, what job you think? What job you planning to have? So I broke down the same thing. This is what average rent costs for a 1-bedroom apartment. Electricity, cable, phone, you know, all that. Uber, if you're not have a car yet, eating out, because you're probably not going to be cooking, you know.
Yeah,
I broke it all down. You got to make minimum this just to live the lifestyle you're living right now, like just a comfortable lifestyle.
100%.
How you going to afford that Rolls Royce? What job you going to have?
A lot of saving.
Yeah, for real. Sorry, you were saying?
So, yeah, Johnson and Wales got scratched. And then I picked my major at Fordham just by like the Google search, and I think the average econ major in the first 5 years was making like 80K or something like that.
E-commerce?
No, economics.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But what job would that have led you to?
to be honest, I don't know.
You didn't look that far.
But from my understanding, economics is. You can
like
plug
accounting?
it into no, not really accounting. It's like the study of like how people spend their money.
Okay. Oh, so you would have helped people with their finances type thing?
Well, I think so. I don't know.
We'll never know.
yeah, we'll never know.
That dream went out the window.
Yeah. Oh, who knows? I still might go back to school and try to graduate if I'm being honest. When I don't know, but I just know it's something that my mom would have wanted. So like,
Absolutely.
Eventually, just I don't know when.
now your business owner might actually give you a little more education towards the money side, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't think I would go for econ. I would.
Nah?
I would. I think I would go back and do that. Like culinary arts, maybe like
That's what I'm
do
talking
something at
about.
Monroe or like something along those lines.
Yeah, I like that.
More interest driven.
Absolutely.
Because I don't like. Not that I don't care about the money, but like I just have more options now. So like I'd rather do something that that I'd rather like be in class and not sleep in class.
100%. Something you care about.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's a waste of time, waste of
100%.
money, waste of energy, effort.
100%.
Yeah.
It really is. So you're moving up the ranks from delivery driver to what was the next one? Server.
Yeah. Then manager.
How long it took to jump those up? 17, you started delivering.
Yeah. From server to manager wasn't that long actually. I think maybe like a couple months.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think I picked up fairly quick. Obviously under good leadership though. Like, I had the owner's, the original owner's sister there, and she had been in the industry for a very long time and kind of like showed me the ropes. Also, great teacher. Like, I couldn't have done it without them. Definitely taught me, and everything was like very systematic too. So like, wasn't hard to pick up the system once the
Yeah.
system's in place. I think it's harder to create a system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, in my case, it's just very fortunate, and just keep the system going.
Yeah.
I didn't have to reinvent the wheel or create the wheel. I just had to keep it rolling.
So when you were saving up, did you have in mind to buy in, or did you have your savings for a different idea?
I think I always wanted to do something restaurant related.
Really?
Yeah. But did I think it was gonna happen there?
Nah, right?
Nah. I didn't think it was gonna happen there. But to be honest, I don't think I ever wanted a dining restaurant. I always wanted my shit was always like street food. I wanted like a little like shop, no dining in, take your food and go kind of place. And eventually I think I still might want to do that. But yeah, I'm a very casual guy. I don't like eat. I don't think I could ever see myself doing something like fine dining. I like, I like to create like greasy foods, like a fucking nice like cheesesteak or something,
Yeah.
But it happened. Yeah.
How'd it happen? Take us through those steps. You're
Um,
working, and then they bring you the offer?
No, they didn't. They didn't bring it to me actually, because at the time I was 19. I asked for it actually.
Oh. So
I,
you heard they were getting out?
I heard, yeah, I heard somebody was getting out, and I ended up shooting my shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, at first, everyone was a little shocked, cause man, you sure you want to do this? But they took me seriously, and I'm talking about older people. Like these guys are at the time maybe like 28. Other gentleman was probably 40 something. But they took this 19-year-old kid seriously and gave me an opportunity of a lifetime.
Wow.
So started off small with I think I might have been like a 16%, like 16% from the whole corporation.
Okay.
So it's like a slither of an owner. But then right when COVID was starting, somebody else wanted to get out. So we ended up using, the money in the account and using the own funds from the restaurant to purchase that other person out.
Even better.
And then we ended up, my percentage had went from 16 to I think 20 something actually. No, like 33.
Oh, amazing.
Became like a third.
Yeah.
Then December 2022, I opened my big mouth again. These guys were stressed because their other businesses were growing so much at a rapid pace, couldn't really keep up. So I opened my big mouth again, and I'm would it help you out if I kind of took over this place by myself and kind of relieved you of at least one portion of stress? And to my surprise, they said yeah. Yeah, I'm just freeballing it. I'm just asking. I didn't think it was possible. I'm just yo, fuck it. Let me just.
I like that.
Let me just shoot my shot. And,
Absolutely.
it was Curry from 3.
Very nice.
Yeah. So ultimately, I ended up taking it over January 2023, and been there ever since. And it's been a crazy journey.
Tell us about it. What's the best and the worst case scenario that has happened in the last few years? Since you took it over alone, is it staffing? I feel like staffing is always a difficult part.
Very difficult, actually. But I don't know if it's the most difficult part. I think the most difficult part, I guess, is being there all the time, like doing your job all the time, because nobody is really gonna tell you like you can't do this, right? Like if I want to close for 2 months and just nobody's telling me no. But I think the self motivation part is probably like the hardest. This because if I don't want to go to work and into work today, like technically I don't have to.
No boss is gonna call you.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not really fair to
Absolutely.
The people. It's not fair to customers or nor the employees.
Absolutely.
So I think the self motivation part is probably the most difficult. I think the most for like rewarding part throughout the years is uh having like family and friends and loved ones kind of experience something that you've orchestrated and kind of like put together. Goes back to like making my brother's friends the pancakes and like the satisfaction you receive from someone enjoying something you orchestrated, right? I think nothing beats that feeling. It's like it's super rewarding. You're like, damn, like I did that.
Absolutely.
Well, obviously, like I put that together, or I orchestrated it.
Yeah.
But that has to be the most rewarding. And crazy things have happened throughout the last 2 years. I even got sued once from like so gas company for like beers and stuff. I don't know if you know, New Rochelle has a really bad flooding problem.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Westchester Taco Grill is flooded probably like twice. I'm talking about like if this is the basement, like water all the way up to the top.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. So
That's horrible.
yeah, the water from the high school when it rains too much kind of like goes over and comes down that whole street. Talking about like you should Google it once.
Yeah.
Like, people like the Iona kids were like swimming in the water and stuff, and like I'm talking about like cars underneath water. It's like
I had no idea.
yeah. So New Rochelle has a very bad like flooding problem. And I had some equipment from this from the gas company, so it's like for like beers and the fountain beverages and stuff. And the tank, that was just like a whole thing in and of itself. The because of the water, the tank kind of like tilted over, and since the equipment was a lease, it was just like a whole big thing. That was
Wow.
that was the first time I ever gone through any type of like litigation or like lawsuit or something like that. But it was a learning experience.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it all is, and that's why I ask these questions on the pod. People can take this information, and use it for themselves.
No, yeah.
So how do you get through that? Did you find a way to stop the flooding or stop it from accumulating so high? There's got to be a solution.
So, what we did, we kind of like waterproofed it a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. You know like Wonderboard is?
No.
So it's like the sheetrock that they use in bathrooms.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be a little bit like more water resistant.
Yeah.
So instead of putting sheetrock on the walls, we put the Wonderboard, and then kind of like this like plastic thing over the walls, because during the first flood, we had to take all the sheetrock out, all the woods out, and then
Even all the electrical.
yeah, and let the foundation kind of like dry.
Wow.
Yeah.
You had to close the whole time?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We were closed. I forgot how long we were closed actually.
A month?
It seems about yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we were on it and had a lot of people. This is the first one. I still had my partners, and they kind of like took lead and took care of it. But like we were all in there like throwing stuff out. We used to get the big dumpsters and just like throw shit out from the yeah. That's like crazy, because even after everything gets like rebuilt and cleaned up, like you still have to like prep from the beginning. All that food is a loss. Like going like restocking a whole restaurant for a week is kind of like insane.
Wow, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, probably one of the darkest times of my life.
Damn. At least you can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if I could go through that, I could probably go through anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you're now making money and then you're coming out of pocket to do all these repairs. That's got to be tough.
Yeah. Paying employees still to help out and clean.
Damn. Earlier you mentioned, I forgot how you said it, but you spoke positive about Catholic school. What about it you think is maybe, I guess, better than public school, or what did you take from it that was so impactful?
So, from my personal experience, I think that, and not to say that public school teachers don't care. No, like
I like the way it started.
yeah, but I just think, from my experience, like Catholic school teachers were always just more involved. Like I've always had a good relationship with a majority of my teachers. And I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, like I loved every single one of them, but I want to say like a good like 95%.
Wow.
I've had like a genuine experience. I don't know what it is kind of like in public school, because like even my earlier years I just don't remember much from those teachers, but I can think of some middle school and high school teachers who have left like a big impact in my life. Some still come visit me to this
Wow.
day, like so, and a lot of, I don't know, like even the friendships that were built, when I was in high school, we weren't allowed to have facial hair.
Really?
Yeah, your uniform had to be like neat, like I remember waking up in the mornings just to make sure that my tie was fresh, like
Wow.
make sure that my tie was like tied properly.
Yeah.
Like we used to sit at the lunch table and be like, yo, what's up with your tie? Like but it overall it was just good people, good environment. I never had to like, but like I don't know. I think the Bronx is probably worse now than when I was going to high school, but never had to like look over my shoulder. Didn't get into like any fights or anything serious.
Nice.
Thank God. So like the structure was there. The after school activities were there. Just being in an environment, like I felt that people actually cared, and even though some students at times didn't care, very few, like
Yeah.
in comparison. Like I think when I graduated high school, I think we had like 100% 100% college acceptance rate.
Wow.
Yeah. So 100% of the kids of that graduating class got accepted into some sort of 2 or 4 or some sort of school.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't think anyone really applied to like a trade school or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like 100%. Even though probably some of them didn't all go to college.
But they got accepted.
Yeah, but they got accepted. So that option is there on the table.
And the school helped you guys out with that.
Oh yeah, the counselors. I went to St. Raymond's high school for boys in the Bronx. Yo, the counselors in that school, top tier. I mean, everyone else is top tier as well, but that department, oh my gosh, yeah.
That's amazing.
I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, as long as you get into school, don't worry about it, right? But now we were talking about like the debts. We were talking about like going to a 2-year university and then transferring to a 4-year, because it doesn't really matter where you start. It matters where you finish. So like go into like a BCC, saving money there, getting good grades, and then transferring over to like a 4-year SUNY or something like that. You know how many people did that? Like,
Yeah.
and they save a shit ton of money.
Time and money.
I think our guidance counselor used to tell us like if you're in more than $25,000 in debt after your 4 years, you did it wrong. So
Wow.
yeah, that and we weren't they weren't prioritizing the college experience really, like if you were able to get the college experience and go to a 4 year in dorm and stuff and it was within your means, then yeah, go ahead, go for it. But it wasn't the end all be all. It was always better to just stay home, do the 2 years, transfer, and then bank out the 4.
Nice. Yeah. What's your relationship with God today? You go to church every Sunday, or you do it more personally?
It's not where it should be. And it's funny that you asked that actually, because the other day, I've been trying to like go through this thing where I want to find my own religion, right? Like I was Catholic growing up because that's what was around.
That's how you were raised. It's part of the Dominican culture.
Yes, but I want to learn about other religions. The other night, I mean, I was drunk. I'm not gonna lie, but I had an hour-long conversation with my Uber driver. He's Muslim, and we were just talking about like his religion. We even exchanged numbers, and he sent me like some videos on YouTube to watch and stuff. But I respect a lot of what their religion embodies. Like, so I would love to learn more about it and kind of like pick a religion because I agree with what their teachings are, as opposed to devout myself to something that was just like there. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying any religion's wrong. Like, I just want to find out more, but like by myself.
All religions have the same essence.
Yeah.
But it's just finding which one you relate to the best.
Yeah, no,
They
definitely.
all have the same essence, the same goal. They're like self-development, kind of. They're teaching you how to think, how to be, how to treat others.
100%. 100%. But
Buddhism's a good one.
Yeah,
look into that one.
I briefly learned some Buddhism in college. There was like a class that kind of like taught about like all the different world religions. But yeah, no, I would love to learn more. Buddhism's like they have like the different like gods or no?
There's no gods or anything. It's more spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they have
really
like
nice.
different like
I don't know too much of it, but I just know it's very simple. It's not it's more spiritual. It's not looking outward and praying to saints and God and stuff like that. It's more spiritual and being good, being right, and you just treat everybody the same way you treat yourself type stuff. It's real simple.
The most important part, actually.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because it's like the simplest. What gets confusing is all the extra stuff that these religions teach. Like the Bible has so much and it's so intricate, some people can't even understand it, But Buddhism is just nice and simple. Just be good and be good to your neighbor. And it's like that simplicity of spirituality and being one with the earth and life and abundance, all that good stuff. Simple. It's very simple.
You know what you know how you said that like there's a lot of teachings and stuff. You know what I got in trouble for saying once? 6th grade religion class. We're learning about creation, right? The creation story, and I don't know. So I forgot what day God created the sun, right? But it's not on the first day, so. It was like God took like 7 days, and then on the 7th day he rested, which was like Sunday, right? So I asked my teacher, I raised my hand, I'm like, don't we use the sun to tell time? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, so how did God create the sun on the 4th day or something like that? And, how did he know 3 days went by if he couldn't tell time or something like that? Yo, she was so tight.
And you see why now, right? You're questioning something
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
But it probably also riled up the class. Like, everyone was probably like, oh, no.
You believe in evolution?
Yeah, 100%.
So what kind of, they contrast each other.
I definitely do believe in evolution.
Because the Bible doesn't believe in evolution.
I didn't know that, actually.
God made man. Evolution doesn't say that.
There has to be some sort of...
God made Adam and Eve. Evolution doesn't work that way.
Because aren't humans even getting smaller or something like that? Or are we getting bigger?
I don't know.
There definitely has to be some sort of evolution.
Evolution is definitely real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a deep topic. Who's the first person you think of when you think of success?
Damn, I never thought of that, actually. I have no answer for that.
Wow.
Yeah, because like to me, like, success isn't like monetary. It's more like I think happiness. I think you're a successful person if you're happy with most aspects of your life.
Can you think of the happiest person you ever met? Or knew of even? I did, because I asked these questions because these are all the questions I ask myself, and I've been seeking for the truth and meaning and all the positive, best things on earth and in the world and in humans and in nature. And when I started searching who are the people that are most at peace in the whole world, and it's monks. They're the happiest and the most at peace. So I started thinking, why? They're not into anything but spirituality and themselves and just being okay with everyone around them, kind of like Buddhism. So I'm on the same page with you. Those are the happiest people. Like that, it's just when you're not worried about monetary, you're not worried about people and looking good and showing off and acceptance and all that, riches. That's when you're the happiest. When none of that stuff makes you happy. Only you can make yourself happy. No one can make you happy. Nothing can make you happy. You make yourself happy. Anybody stand out?
Nah, because I don't want to just give you a bullshit name just to,
I appreciate that.
to give you a name. Like, I
Yeah.
genuinely can't. Maybe like my aunt.
All right.
Like she seems to be one of the happiest people I've known.
She lives here or back home?
No, she lives here.
Oh.
I lived with her my senior year of high school, actually.
All right.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
No.
Yeah. But she took me in with open arms, and
Of course.
definitely, I think for that whole year, I never saw her upset, even to this day.
There you go.
She doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke. She don't really worry about money. Like, she's just happy, really.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the one right there. What are 3 things you need to be happy?
Health. Some sort of faith
Mm.
and family.
And what was the third one?
Family.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
So I think, yeah, definitely.
As you get older, what has become more important and less important?
More important. The most important thing that that I've really been enjoying lately, it's like spending time with my kids.
Mm.
I have 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And lately, I've been, prioritizing like staying home and kind of like, spending time with them and watching them grow and kind of like seeing them enjoy life. It's crazy, but like the joy that you get from making someone else like that's a part of you happy. Like, I don't know, like Imagine how happy you're gonna be when your daughter gets her Rolls Royce. Gonna be happy as
You
fuck.
actually did it. You actually did it. Let me sit in the back seat.
Drive me around.
Drive me around. Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's been increasingly getting more important, and I've been losing my FOMO. So I don't care about missing out anymore. Like before, I want to say like in the last 2 years, my boys would text me like, "Oh, like, yo, we out over here, we out over there," and work and all this stuff. So I used to like, damn, I can't go. I'm missing out. But over the years, it's kind of been like fading away. I kind of don't care about it no more.
There you go.
Not that I don't care about it no more,
It's
but
less
it's
important.
like, yeah, it's less important.
When you have a business and you're there 7 days a week.
As of now, no. Right now, I'm there 5 days a week. So
good.
Monday afternoons, I stay with the kids. Wednesday afternoon, I stay with them as well, and then Sundays are usually my day with them too.
Nice.
So I try not to go on those days, obviously, but things change. Sometimes it might be like a catering or something, or somebody can't work that day, and you kind of got to make adjustments. But for the most part, I try to do Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. I'm there on the mornings, but try not to be there in the afternoons.
Very nice. Very nice. You do anything for your mental health?
No, actually, I should. I should.
What would be the best piece of advice you'd give your younger self?
Best piece of advice I'd give my younger self. Do what makes you happy. I mean, try not to concern yourself with what other people think about you. Do what genuinely makes you happy.
I like that. If you could have any question answered, and it could be even the time and day you're going to die, any question in the world you could have answered, what would you ask?
What comes after?
Afterlife?
Yeah. I would be more curious about the afterlife. Well, what would you ask?
Nobody ever asked me that. Man, I don't know. You just flipped the whole script over.
No, because I'm thinking, I'm like, shit. Like,
that might be it, because I've also looked into other religions and see what they think the afterlife is. And I was looking into, I grew up Catholic, so I was looking into Christianity. What is their afterlife? And there's like different levels of heaven, and there's hell, and I don't believe any of that. I believe we're all God's kids. We're all going to the same place. There's no malice in the afterlife. There's no hell. Christianity says if you live, let's say you live a life of murder. You murder people through your whole life. In your afterlife, you're going to be worried about getting murdered and trying to murder your whole life. Your whole afterlife, you're going to be worried and living through that lens. But I don't believe that. God doesn't punish us. God is like, gives us everything we need. We're all his children. You're free to do whatever you want. You want to be a murderer, that's okay. You want to be a priest, that's okay. But in the afterlife, we're all just there.
So then why be a good person?
Sadly, that's the point of religion, to make people believe you have to be a good person or else. But that's not true. God doesn't punish. God gave us everything. All the murderers, all the bad people out here, God created all those people. God created all of us. God created disabilities. God created disease. God created all these disasters. But it's not from malice. It's just what earth and life is about. Kids are born with disabilities and stuff like that. God didn't maliciously hurt that person. It's just part of life. It's just how things happen. And the same thing with the afterlife. I don't think there's any negativity. We're all going to the same place. You ever heard any near-death experience stories?
Yeah.
So a lot of those stories are like, when people get there, they're greeted by souls. No, they're not human form, but you can feel the connection. There's no words. In the afterlife, there's no English and Spanish. We all are on the same exact page. We all just understand what each other's saying. So it was unspoken words. All the stories I hear are the same. It's unspoken words, but they understand. People come up to them like, hey, welcome back. How was it? the spiritual world is temporarily on
Well-
earth in the physical sense, and then we go back to the spiritual world.
But
That's
what
what
if-
I think right now.
So like near-death experiences, right?
Yeah.
What if nobody that has lived a bad life had a near-death experience?
I don't think that's possible. All types of people have had near-death experiences. I'm down to look into it more specifically.
Yeah, because why? I mean, if you're a god, right? Like,
Yeah.
or if you're God, why would you give a bad person a second chance?
But it's not a second chance. It's you're going to live the same life as the good person. You're going to live until you die, and when you die, you go back to the spiritual world. No malice. You're not going to a different part of the spiritual world. You're going back.
Shit, that I feel like that'd be hard for me to believe, man. I would be living a crazy life.
But you don't want to live a crazy life. You
Why
like
not?
seeing
There's
you
no
like seeing your kids
repercussions.
grow. You like being there for them. You don't want to live a ridiculous life.
That's
you,
true,
You love
yeah.
what you're doing. You love what you're doing so much. You're choosing your family over hanging out with your friends, which is what you wanted to do. Now this is even more important and more meaningful. So it's like you can go crazy, but you're not going to live a good life on earth. You're going to live a bad life. Like, imagine eating everything you want, all the bad stuff, just 'cause it's delicious. That's not a good life. You're killing yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
sounds good though.
it does. It does. Eat anything you want, and everything's okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets?
No, not
I like
not even in the slightest.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm happy with what I am and who I've become today. So like if any regrets that I can't have any regrets because I'm content with who and what I am today.
Absolutely. I like that. Outside of family, outside of your business, what are your overall life goals?
You know what? My biggest goal right now. I want to move to DR.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was born here. Eventually, I want to say within the next like 5 to 10 years.
No way.
Yeah, I want to take my family out there. I don't want to live out there. Yeah, I just think New York is too fast paced.
It is. It's not healthy for our mental.
No, not at all. And it's just. Have you been out there recently?
Many times.
I don't know. You just breathe different, like
Absolutely.
everything's on Dominican time, like
Nobody's in a rush. There's barely mental health down there.
Yeah.
People are chilling.
Yeah.
Lunch break is like 2-3 hours.
Oh, and the stores they close, right?
Everybody closes for lunchtime. It's
So,
such a
like-
peaceful life.
Yeah, I don't want to be living on the go no more. I don't want to be
Yeah.
living on the run. Like I just want to like chill. Like
I like
imagine
that.
like we pay so much for fucking apartments out here, or like I live in a co-op, so like what I get there, I could probably have a fucking house with a pool and
Hell
like.
yeah.
And I'm not even worried about the language thing because I would just put my kids in bilingual school or
Absolutely.
something like that. But yeah, that's my like goal. Like that's where I want to
nice.
be at in the next 5-10 years.
Any specific city or region?
Maybe like I would want to be in the capital. But I know my dad's going out there soon and he's gonna want to be in Santiago.
Okay.
But I just want to be like, I think that the capital is more established than Santiago. I think Santiago they're just building the trains and stuff, right? And
Santiago's like, I feel like it's second. It's like city. It's city wise, but it's not as updated as the capital. Yeah.
I'd rather be in the capital. I had a really good time in La Zona Colonial. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the buildings there are freaking
architecture is
beautiful.
beautiful.
Oh my gosh! I think the oldest stone bank is there.
In the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or
in the country.
I think it's in Latin America or something.
Wow.
Like that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The bank is made out of like stone or something. Yeah.
So you
I
can't
remember
get
walking around and reading it, but the problem is that like I was drunk for most of it, so everything
was amazing. Everything's, oh my God, it's great. I like that.
Yeah, but I would definitely that's definitely my top goal right
I
there.
like that. We're nearing the end of the podcast. if you could please let the people know where they could find you, anything you have coming up you want them to tune into, and any last advice you want to leave the people with.
You can find me at Westchester Taco Grill. Give us a follow on Instagram, if you can. We're trying to do more skits. Trying to create a bigger social media presence. And if there's one piece of advice that I can, that I would tell people is definitely to step outside your comfort zone. This is me stepping outside my comfort zone at the moment. Super shy, but, Franjez gave me the wonderful opportunity, and I couldn't say no. And, thank you for having me. Thank you for making me feel so comfortable. And thank you for guiding this wonderful experience, man.
It was a great conversation.
Thank you, brother.
It really was. My pleasure. Thank you for joining. And thank you to everybody that watched. Peace and love.